Hello again, everyone. Last time we tried to work. We tried to work with string comparison, and we actually had a password. We compared it to we compare a password value that we got from the screen, and we compared it to a well-known defined value, and we were able to make a decision based on that to let a user enter or let a user not enter when we say sorry mate. So let's just run this example here and then see what happens. When we run this, then the first statement here is going to be executed, and essentially this input function is expecting me to enter a password here from the keyboard. And what I entered was a password which was clearly not equal to the password that we already know in advance. And this way, the first part of the statement, the if statement, was not executed, and the default part of the statement was executed, and then it was basically saying, sorry, mate. So now suppose I want to enter the proper value now, password 1234. Like that, and then indeed this value here has been the value that I entered from the keyboard is indeed equal to the same value that we already know in advance, to the password that we specified in advance. That's why I am able to see the method here, the message here that says, yay, you're in. Great. But as you can see, there is a major flaw here. Imagine that every time I want to enter my password, I have to run this thing, and I am at the mercy of my program. And if I enter it one time and I get it wrong, then I have to execute this program again. So something is clearly wrong here. We should probably be allowed to enter the password multiple times, because one time, if all I got is just one time, then it doesn't make any sense. So what I need to do now is to be able to have a mechanism of repetition. So I need a mechanism of repetition. I need to allow my application user to enter this password over and over for as long as they need to get the right password. It would be very frustrating when you enter a password from your keyboard and all you got is one shot. So there is indeed. So I'm going to comment the if statement construct. I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to provide you with a new construct that is responsible for repeating things multiple times. That is actually called while. So what I want to say is I want to repeat the password. I want to repeat the check-in of the password for as long as it is not equal. This guy. So how do we say this is? We know how to say if these two guys are equal, then this is great. But now I want to allow these guys to be entered over, to be allowed to be entered over and over if these two guys are not equal. So the not equal operator here, not equal operator, is the exclamation equal sign. This is my not equal operator. So if you want to check the equality of two things and you want to know that they are not equal, this is what you need to do. So now if they are not equal, what is it that I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to ask this person to enter the password again, right? Password equals I'm going to have a an input statement here, and then we're going to say wrong password, please try again, like that. So if we do this, what is it that we're going to get? Well, there's only one way to find out, by running this program like that. So now I got enter your password here, which is the very first statement. So I'm going to enter a wrong password 1, and then it says wrong password, please try again, because this condition was evaluated to true. So my password that I entered was not equal to the password that I already stored in my program. And that's the reason why I'm seeing here, enter this password. So now I'm supposed to enter the password again, password 1, like that. And now, as you can see, password 1 that I entered here is not equal to password 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to continue. Oops, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. Right? Maybe. All right, maybe I will stop the program and then start it over. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I don't know what happened. So what I'm gonna do here is run it one more time. Yes. So password. So the first statement here is going to be evaluated. And now I know that the password is incorrect. So now I am in this repeating mechanism that takes my input and then is gonna keep checking it against the password placeholder. So I'm just gonna enter password 1 like that. It's not working. Password 1, 2 is not working. Password 3, maybe 1, 3, 1, 2, 3 like that. And then password 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it did work. And as you can see, if I continue to enter the wrong password, there's no limit on how many times I can continue to enter this password. What might be interesting, well, maybe I should be print last password entered, like that. I'm just gonna print that password here so we actually see which password that we're able to enter. It's something that will be printed here on the screen as opposed to when the program terminates and I don't see anything. So I'm gonna run this one more time. So the password here, password, like that, is the word password and it's the wrong one. And then I'm gonna enter the correct one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. And indeed, I was able to see that the last password that we entered was the correct password here. Well, good. Now, what might not be realistic, that you allow your user to get as many trials as you want so they can literally hack your password. So is there a way that we can ask the user to enter a certain number of trials, and after that my program will terminate? Let's just work with the program just as it is, and then we basically maybe allow the person to enter a certain number of trials. So I'm gonna get a counter here and I'm gonna say that this counter is less than 3 times. Remember, less than 3 times, but I already have 1 here. That will give me exactly three trials. But as you can see, as soon as I do this, it says undefined name, which is a name counter here. So what we might need to do is to enter, to define this variable here, and then we'll give it a value of 1. And the reason why we're given a value of 1 is because we already entered 1 time. Usual computer scientists start with 0, but in this case we already tried to enter 1 time, so it makes sense to get this variable here being printed by 1. So now what I need to do when I go inside, every time I go inside that loop and this condition is not true, I want to increment this guy to be equal to 2, and next time is going to be equal to 3, and next time is equal to 4, for as long as I limit the number of trials here. How do I increment a variable? To increment a variable, so there is an increment operator. Increment operator, like that, is actually called, it starts with the variable counter and then plus equal, and then the number, the value that you want to increment by. You want to increment every time by 1, by 5, by 100. So here you specify the value that you need to increment with. But because here we want to increment one at a time, so that's what I'm going to do. So increment plus equal 1, like that. And then every time I'm going to do this is going to check if the counter here is correct or not, and is going to let me in or not. So as long as the counter is less than 3 and the password are not identical, then I will continue to have my program asking me to enter the proper value. So let me run this one more time. So now we're executing the first statement here, which is, let me just make it really close here so we can see it. So we're gonna enter the password, and password like that, password 1. Okay, and it says please try again. So clearly the number of trials here, which is below 3, and these two guys are not identical, so this statement was actually executed. But these two conditions must happen at the same time. If one condition is true and one condition is not true, this whole statement is not going to be executed, and we'll see it in a minute. So now I'm going to enter another password like that. Oops, I'm sorry, I meant it on the other side here. Password 1 2 3, and it's still not liking this at all. So let's enter another password like that, 1 2 3 4, and indeed it was able to get the right value, and therefore this statement here was actually printed. What I really want to show you, maybe what we need to see, the actual value here of the counter. So we can say current number of trials, like that, and we should probably put this before the increment statement here, because we already have a counter here. So by putting it here, counter, then we see the first trial, the second trial before it was incremented, so we know where we are in execution. So I'm gonna run this one more time. Enter the password 1 2, and definitely not the right value, and we still all right, we'll try one more time. Password 1 2 3. Okay, now it's basically telling me that my number of trials is 1. Well, something is not right here. We should have incremented, because this one here is printed before it was incremented. So what we might need to do is to actually go here, and then we count the number of trials, and then after that, when we increment, we'll put it here, and I'm going to terminate, and then I'm going to start over again. So now let's enter the password one more time. Password 1 2. Now we're seeing the correct number of trials, so we tried one time, and then we're going to try again. Password 2 trials, and then I'm gonna this time password 1 2 3 4. This is the proper value, and it told me that I tried 3 times, and indeed the program was terminated because I was able to get in. So the last one was correct, and I guarantee it to you, if we run this one last time and then we enter the password from the first time we enter it correctly, it will basically say, okay, the number of trials is 1, and the last password you entered was with the exact password here. What might be more useful is to actually ask another if statement here, like that, outside the scope of of the while loop, and then we can really ask if these two guys are equal. Then we can say congratulations, and then we have a print statement, and then we say congratulations, you entered the correct value, like that. Otherwise, we're just gonna print that last value, whether it was the right value or the wrong value. We still gonna keep track of what value, what keyword or what password that we entered, whether it was right or wrong. But if it was right, then we are going to then we're going to specify it here, and I will prove to you this. So let me run it one more time. Password, and this time I am not going to enter the password correctly. Password, and I'm gonna pass the number of trials. Password 1 2, password 1 3, and indeed I have spent the number of trials that I have, 3 trials, exactly 3 trials, because here offers me 2 trials, and then I have another one here. So 2 plus 1, it's definitely 3. And as you can see, I was not successful because it did not say congratulations, but I still knew what password the user entered, and it was the wrong value. Let me run this one last time. Password 1 2 3, like that. So this is my first trial, and then password 1 2 3 4, and in this case I'm supposed to see a congratulations message because I'm still within the limit and I entered the proper value, and then I'm also going to see that my last password is identical to the password that I entered. So I'm going to see these 2 print statements here. That's exactly what I'm expecting, and indeed, let me just make this longer, like that. So now, as you can see, I saw the congratulations message here, and I also saw that the last password that I entered, and it was indeed the proper or the correct password. So this is how we can compare values, and then we can repeat the comparison as long as we need. We can make this up to 10 times. We can make it up to 100 times. We can make it up to 2 times, and so on. So what you specify here is up to you, but remember that these 2 conditions must be evaluated to true for the condition for the password to be offered to you one more time. If one condition is not true, if I exceed the number of trials, then I'm not going to be successful. I won't see the congratulations message here. I think this is good for now, and we will continue to work with other repetition constructs in the next videos to come. Thanks for watching.